as a white Africana woman growing up in South Africa during apartheid, like you mentioned, you were in a community and a church of all places that reinforced white supremacies and shielded you from seeing your neighbors' oppression. But you document that a series of things happened to change your perspective. Can you just run the tape for us and walk us through what was that changed your perspective?
You know, first was a visit to Germany. My dad took a group of us, we were teenagers, and he was a German teacher at our school. He took us to Germany one summer, and one of the things he did is take us to a concentration camp. And so I remember standing in those gas chambers and thinking about how horrific that was. And my heart was clenching, and I thought, how can people do this to each other? These are people together, right? And I went home that summer with that impression, having not connected yet the story that I was right inside of. And so when I went back to South Africa, some of the books at the time were starting to get unbanned. Anything that criticized the apartheid government was getting unbanned, previously had been banned. So nothing that criticized the government would be let through. And now things were kind of loosening up, and the apartheid government was coming to its end, and books were getting unbanned. And I walked into the library one day, and there was a turnstile, and it had recently unbanned books. And I was like, this is the library. This probably kind of a safe space, right? I can go and look at this. And so I did, and I picked up a book. And the story described was so different from the story I was told growing up, that I read that book, and when I closed it, my worldview or my place in the world had been shattered. How I understood what it meant to be an Afrikaner no longer existed, because the story I was told and the truth of who we were at the time in South Africa did not align. And so it was a real shattering experience and kind of this waking up experience. And so I walked out of that needing to find, what does it mean for me to be human in this world? Plus, as you said, it was the church, it was my Dutch Reformed church who created the theology that supported apartheid, right? And so I went to church every Sunday growing up. I was confirmed in the church. I went to, we went to Bible studies, and yet this was a church that created this theology. And so I was like, what do I do about my faith now? Who is this God? And I think I realized, not at the time, but I realized now that we had followed a white Jesus, right? And not the true Jesus. And so, those were two major events in my life that led me to the shattering and understanding of my place in the story, right? And that this was happening.